Good evening, everybody. I'm just going to give our colleagues another moment to log on to the meeting, and then we will get started. Okay, the time is now 6:04, and we will call the meeting to order. This is a special meeting of the Springfield City Council. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Councilor Perez?
Present.
Present. Councilor Curran?
Present.
Present. Councilor Walsh? Absent. Councilor Brown? Absent. Councilor Davila?
Present.
Present. Councilor Davila?
Present.
Present. Councilor Hurst?
Present.
Present. Councilor Edwards?
Present.
Present. Councilor Allen?
Present.
Present. Councilor Govan?
Present.
Present. Councilor Fenton? Absent. Councilor Whitfield?
Present.
Present. Councilor Letterman?
Present. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Before we take up our first item, members, Councilor Allen has made a request to make an announcement, and without objection, I will allow him to do so. Councilor Allen.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. President. Hi, everybody. Yeah, no big announcement other than I hope you all saw a copy of the resource guide. You might recall former President Marcus Williams asked me to chair a committee. This was after the original committee assignments. A few weeks later, he asked me to chair a committee called Accessibility and Accountability. And we define that to be trying to get as much information available to our residents and to ourselves as possible. And the resource guide that you had emailed to you by Kelly, I think it went again today. It might have gone last week. That's the result of work on that committee. Most of the work was done by TJ Plant and his staff. I told him about this assignment a few months ago and asked him if he could help me with it. And he took it on, and his staff pulled the departments in City Hall for information that we thought was applicable to potentially, eventually to the public. We missed a few departments. We had a great document. Maybe 90% of stuff was in it. But we had missed the mayor and the city council. Ironically, we had missed the fire department. We found that out today. So we're in the process of just trying to find out what we might have missed and what could be corrected of the information. So you should have that in your email. Be happy to have you send comments back to the office. Someone from the fire department sent comments back and said, you forgot us. And they sent, statement with words that they would like included in there on their behalf. So we'll be working on that, in the next week or two, making sure we've got everything covered. And eventually we'll have a committee meeting or something. We'll eventually put out a revised document which hopefully will go on the website or something like that. But at this point, it's gone to all of you, and just looking for your comments back when you get a chance. It's about 15 pages last I looked, and so it's a little bit of work to read it, but I think the idea is hopefully that a lot of those things we don't hear about all the time. This is an attempt to pick all those things up, the little tax deals, the little, opportunities in different offices, et cetera. So that's what that is. And feel free to get comments back to Kelly or or Sean or Susan or to me. And once we have, some comments back after a week or two, we'll make sure they're all in there, and we'll probably have a committee meeting to discuss it and talk about how it gets distributed. That won't be till July at this rate, obviously. So just looking for that's what that is. And that's looking forward to your comments. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Madam Clerk, can you please recognize Councilor Walsh?
Counselor Walsh. You're muted, Counselor Walsh, but I'm going to mark you down as present.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, can you please call the first item on the agenda?
The first item on the agenda is the FY21 free cash to pension stabilization reserve in the amount of $1.5 million.
Deputy Capo?
Thank you, Mr. President. So this order is to move $1.5 million from the remaining FY21 free cash over to the pension stabilization reserve.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this item? Councilor Walsh.
Thank you. And I know this is something that we do on an annual basis, but is this more of a contribution than last year or less?
So this is actually just moving the money into an account, the stabilization reserve account for the pension. We're not increasing the appropriation with this funding. It's just moved into account in a reserve that's going to be there when we need it in the future.
For what kind of things usually, Lindsay?
Yep. Well, in the past, we did use it to overfund the appropriation. In the future, we could potentially move it to the operating budget to help make our pension requirements if needed when we're balancing the budget.
So it's kind of like an insurance.
Yep. It's just setting a little money aside if we need it in the future, either to meet our obligated amount that we need to come up with in the general fund budget or to overfund our appropriation.
And thank you. And you do a nice job with the explanations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh. Are there any further questions or debate on the item? Seeing none, without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on authorizing the transfer.
On approving the order, Counselor Perez?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton. Absent, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The order is approved. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
Next item is FY21 certified free cash to stability reserve stabilization fund in the amount of $5.8 million.
Deputy Capo.
Thank you, Mr. President. This order is to move the remainder of the FY21 free cash over to our stabilization reserves. We have had a few finance subcommittee meetings, so thank you for holding those, in which we discussed why we think moving the funding over to the stabilization reserve is important. It'll get us over $50 million, and this will zero out the FY21 free cash balance.
Thank you. Any members on the order? Seeing none, then without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on authorizing the order.
On approving the order, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
No.
No, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton absent. Counselor Whitfield.
No.
No, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient. The order is approved. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
Next item is item number 3, which is a transfer for fiscal year 21 certified free cash to capital projects reserve in the amount of $2.5 million.
Deputy Kappa.
Thank you. So this order, again, it's the last order for our FY21 free cash. And this is to move it into an account that makes it available for us in FY23 to appropriate funding for property acquisition, which will come back to City Council to do.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the order? Councilor Hurst.
Thank you, Mr. President. Lindsay, can you just explain a little bit more in terms of where that money is going or what it might potentially be used for or what you all have in mind for that money?
Sure. So it was discussed in executive session a couple of weeks ago. There's 2 properties that the city plans on acquiring, but it won't be till FY23. So we're moving this money over. It's really just an accounting measure to move it over so it doesn't get pushed back into free cash again. It gets held so we're able to use it in FY23. And you know, to be honest, I'm not sure how much I can speak about those 2 properties. We had to speak about them. Actually, Tim Sheehan.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
on the meeting. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay, I want to answer as much as I can for you.
No, I remember. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Hurst. Before we go to Councilor Govan, Madam Clerk, can you please recognize Councilor Fenton?
Counselor Fenton.
Present.
Thank you. Councilor Govan.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So I'm just wondering, and it's not about the this specific transfer over to the property acquisition. I think I was in that meeting as well, and I thought that was a good idea. But it's just in general about free cash. So this is how much was this one that was going to be transferred over, Lindsay?
This transfer is for $2,525,000.
2.5 million. Okay. All right. All right. I'll wait till you finish all the transfers. Thank you. That's what I needed to know. I'm sorry. Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you, Councilor Govan. Are there any further questions on the item? Seeing none, then without objection, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on authorizing the transfer. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Hurst.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. President. Just really quick, Lindsay, you said this has to come back before the council.
It does.
Next year, right?
Yeah. So what will happen just with all property acquisitions, there will also be an appropriation order.
Okay.
So you'll vote on that separately. This is really just, like I said, it's just an accounting measure to move the money so it's available in FY23.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Hurst. Are there any further questions? Without objection, then, Madam Clerk, please call the roll to authorize the transfer.
On approving the order, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes, the votes are sufficient and the order is approved. Madam Clerk, is there any further business before the council?
No, there is not.
Then with that, councilors, we will adjourn until our next hearings meeting, which is tonight at 7:00 p.m. on this same exact link. And I want to thank Focus Springfield, who came in early to make sure that we were able to live stream this special meeting as well. See you all in a couple of minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.